morning, afternoon.
Okay, so once again, good afternoon to us.
Good afternoon.
Alright, so our topic for discussion today is surveillance. And one may ask, what is surveillance? Surveillance, we are saying that is continuous monitoring of what we want to know, and then we move on. It's not really clear. So, we are saying that according to epidemiologist called John M., he describes surveillance as continuous, systematic, watching over of health problems, collecting, analyzing data, and is ongoing on an ongoing basis. So when we are talking about surveillance, it's normally continuous. It's not one time. Every day you are watching something, moving on, watching. So in surveillance, we collect data. Without data, surveillance will be difficult. Do we understand it? So the main aim of surveillance is data collection and data utilization. And how can we use this data in order to achieve our aim? So we are saying that in AMR testing, we want to actually know what is going on daily. So as a member of DTC, we are saying that we have to collect all AMR data, and this mostly center on the use of antimicrobial and how can we know how to use the antimicrobial. Which antimicrobial should we use? All is based on lab. So lab is a center of AMR surveillance. Without the lab, AMR surveillance will be in vain. So lab, we are here. We are the epicenter when we are talking about AMR surveillance. Why are they epicenter? They will tell us this drug is resistant, this pathogen is showing this based on their antimicrobial susceptibility testing. So we are actually telling you that when you get your AMR data, you have to do trend analysis. And how do we do the trend analysis? This week, we collected the data, and then stool sample from NICO, we are seeing that they are having this infection. The same is in neighborhood. Okay, the same is happening at ONG. So we are now seeing a trend that is revolving about mother and child. So based on that, we can put in the necessary intervention. So we look at the data, we analyze the data, sometimes based on ward, sometimes based on persons involved, then we can be achieving our aim. And when we get this information, because AMR is a silent pandemic, we are not seeing it, but it is killing us. We are not seeing the AMR, but it is killing us, because it's to be like you are having urinary tract infection. We are dying out of urinary tract infection. It's the same pathogen that is in bloodstream infection. But because we cannot link the urinary tract infection to that, we are not likely to identify. So it's silent pandemic, killing us gradually. We are trying drugs, we are failing, we are not being successful. So we are telling you that based on what we have identified, if we do intervention immediately, we are likely to succeed quickly. So we are telling you that timely dissemination of our results is very, very necessary. So we analyze quickly, get the data, analyze it quickly, then we disseminate it to who is necessary to pick it. One, to the policy makers. These are the governing bodies of AMR DTC. The stewards are also involved. They also have to monitor the system very well so that we can do timely dissemination. And then these decision makers can also be our policy makers and the government. And then we will need to link this to the trend of what we are having. So we are telling you that without we following this ongoing systematic surveillance, we actually analyzing and interpreting the results we are getting, and we also disseminating it and linking it, we cannot achieve elimination of AMR in our life. So we are telling you that based on this, we are looking at how is AMR surveillance going in our facility. We are always detecting the pattern that is going. We see Klebsiella pneumoniae in ONG. We are seeing the same thing in labor ward. We are seeing it in male ward, female ward. What is the resistant pattern? They are all resistant to carbapenem. So we'll be looking at how best we can control it quickly in order to achieve our aim. Should we not put intervention in place like IPC quickly? Probably it's only one individual who is carrying it, moving around and sharing. So we have to get a quick intervention so that we can curtail it. And then we are also saying that we have to look at how we are using our antimicrobial. As the laboratory is working on the pathogens that we are isolating, they are looking at the trend, and at the end of the day, we are expecting lab to generate the data that we can interpret it and know our local antibiogram. When we say local antibiogram, what do we mean? We are saying that for Tema General Hospital, all the Staphylococcus aureus we are isolating now, all the pseudomonas we are isolating now, is showing a certain pattern of resistance or susceptibility. So when we identify that, it could be different from that of Ashama Municipal Hospital. So we can now put interventions in place that based on our pattern of susceptibility testing, we want to use this antibiotics continuously. In that case, it affects the pharmacy store as well. Pharmacy store will now not be procuring some antibiotics that is not actually killing our bacteria that we are isolating. So we have to know our local antibiogram based on the pathogens of importance. So we are looking at Klebsiella. We have to identify when we get Klebsiella in urine, this is how it's responding. When we get stuff in blood, when we get stuff in UTI, this is how they are responding. Then we develop that pattern that in this facility, when you isolate this pathogen from this origin, this is the type of antibiotics we want to be using. In that case, we are doing targeted treatment, but we are not basing it on only that. And local antibiogram, we normally have it in case we want to start therapy before AST result is out. We start with that. Once AST result is out, we switch back to what the AST is telling us. Are we clear with that? Is there any question on that? No question. So we move on. So we actually have to look at our pattern and the consumption. We put surveillance in place, then we are moving on. And we are saying that what is the relevance of we having AMR surveillance? What is the relevance of we having our local antibiogram? What is the relevance of we doing AST and treating our? We are saying that every detection, when there is emerging outbreak, we are identifying it early. Assuming suddenly we have nosocomial infection, the system should be in position to take it out quickly. So, early detection, early warning. Let's be careful. We are seeing this pathogen in the system. Let's put our house in order. That is what we mean. And we are saying that it will guide treatment guidelines. As I already said, once we know what our pathogens are responding to, we can tailor in the type of antimicrobial we will be purchasing, and then how we will be utilizing it. That takes us to treatment guidelines. Then we can track it over a trend of time. Then we will now tell ourselves, based on this and this antibiotics we are using, we realize that our clients staying in the hospital have reduced. No, we are doing it. But then our clients staying in the hospital is still increasing. Then we have to mop up another strategy to do that. And we are also telling you that we have to evaluate the interventions that we are doing. So as we use, we check, and then we see how best it is working. And we are also trying to formulate policies. This policy formulation just helps us that instead of the client stay in our facility for so many days, Kwejo is supposed to spend 3 days in May War. He's now spending 5 days. Another person also came who is supposed to spend 3 days. He's also spending 5 days. So if we have 10 clients at the beginning of the day, by the time we realize in 10 days time, we are having more number than expected, and hence it's affecting the health workers. There will be burden on our facility amenities. There will also be burden on us, we the staff, because we are supposed to see to 3 clients a day. We are now missing about 10 clients a day. Then we'll be talking about back pain, body burnout, and all those things. So we need all these things in place in order to control this kind of burnout and the rest. And we are also saying that if we have a very good AMR system in place, we can also meet the global communication. When COVID came, we realized that some people were doing research. Then they realized that another species has come, another strain has come. This strain is highly this, is highly that. Before we realize, everybody is getting prepared about the war. So it's when we have the AMR surveillance system in place, because the data that we generate, we put it in the WHO software called WhoNet, and then the WhoNet generates the data for us that will tell us this is going on here, this isolate is being found in this country, this is the trend of treatment and all those things. So it helps us, it meets the global commitment, so we all get there one day. And then we are saying that for us to have a very good AMR system in place, we have to know how we collect our sample. The sample as in blood, urine, stool. Which pathogen are we looking at? Where is this pathogen being identified? We are having urinary tract infection. Then instead of you taking urine, we are taking blood. The likelihood of you isolating the pathogen in question is very slim. So you have to actually know which sample you are supposed to take for what. Then after we have done that, we have to collect the right data as to we have isolated this pathogen from this area, susceptible or resistant to this antibiotics. All those information have to be collected very well. And after that, we will analyze it and tell ourselves that nowadays, when we isolate Klebsiella over here, we are realizing that all urinary tract infection Klebsiella that we are isolating, they are from clients who have stayed in our facility 3 days, meaning that it's likely that they are all picking it from our facility. So what shall we be doing? All this information will tell us. And then we have now to be disseminating it. Our orderlies, let's get them. Housekeepers, let's get them. Nurses, let's do our work very well. Because if the urinary tract pathogen via isolation is Klebsiella, AST is showing the same pattern, male or female or surgical, all those things. We have to disseminate it quickly in order to curb the situation. And we are also telling you that this will now inform policy. The policy will be in a sense that how do we go about our claiming? What is happening at our claiming? Is it we ourselves who are nurturing this pathogen to become a macho in our facility? All these things have to be going through, and then we will put intervention in place by making a policy that this chlorate solution or bleach we are getting from this company is not working for us. So we have to stop buying from that place. This bleach we are getting from here, the wrote percentage of 5.5, but it's actually 3.5. Then we have to consider how to now go back to dilution. And then as we are doing it in our facility as DTC and stewards team, we are also looking at it at a larger like Ghana. We are getting this pathogen in Tema General, we are getting it in Rich Hospital, we are getting it in this and this. So it's putting the governing body also on foot to make the system work. And then we will also be acting on it quickly, putting intervention in place, IPC, get them, training, coordination, we are doing all those things. Then we will also look at how is it impacting on us? Are we getting any good result as we are looking at this? If we are not getting report, good result, what shall we do? What is the next alternative? Lab, this pathogen we have isolated. You are telling us this antibiotic should be working. We are treating our client. We are not getting them recover quickly. Is there something you should do about your quality system, or we have procured the poor medication for, you know, it's 500 milligram on the container, but it's now 200 milligram in efficacy. So we have to actually be working at it at all levels, then we will. Then at the end of the day, we start the circle again, collect the data, move on and move on and move on. So we are saying that there is a system in place across the globe that we have models that talk about the data, what sample we are taking, what are we using it for, and we are developing standardized method of utilization. All these things come about in the AMR seminar. Remember, I was telling you earlier on that we have a system in place globally that we get laboratory data, we input it there. Once we input it there, it generates a result for us. That feeds the DTT system, then we can look at work with. So over here we are telling you that every infection have to come from a sample. For us to isolate a pathogen, we have to get the right sample at the right site of infection in order to isolate the pathogen. It's not that lab is there, any sample work for any infection, no. When we are looking at bloodstream infection, urinary tract infection, the likely pathogen we can be identified will be E. coli, Klebsiella pneumoniae, and this may be resistant to third generation. So once the lab isolates this pathogen, they have to watch the antibiogram very well. What is it resistant to? Is it showing third generational cephalosporin, fluoroquinolone, or carbapenem? Are they showing trend of resistance? Once we are identifying that, it's telling us, get alert. something is happening, then we have to be following it up. When you get Acinetobacter in bloodstream infection resistant to carbapenem, we have to sit up quickly and start watching very well what to do. Staphylococcus, also bloodstream infection, methicillin resistant. There was a facility that they had an outbreak of methicillin resistant staphylococcus. It's just one baby died in Niku, another one died. Then they said, no, let's sit up. The whole facility has to be closed down for this infection. So that is how quick the surveillance system works. Once you identify, no, of late we are getting this kind of pattern happening. We don't want the third baby to die again. We have to alert the system. So we have to also be looking at all these things for this kind of pathogens. And we are also telling you that for us to actually achieve this, there is an order that we go, the landscape of our surveillance system. Our surveillance system actually starts from the grassroots. The polyclinic, the clinic, the health centers, they collect the sample. The sample that they collect, they can send it to the district or sub-district hospital. Then they also move it to the regional hospital, like Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Tema General Hospital. They are the major level. Then when they also identify the pathogen, they also store the pathogen and move it to the national, that is the National Public Reference Lab for further analysis of such pathogen. This National Public Reference Lab also have a mandate of sending known sample. We call it EQA, External Quality Assurance Sample. So they will also send it to this facility who conduct this test. Like Tema General EQA will come from National Public Reference Lab. The pathogen in the sample is Staph aureus. Is Tema General seeing it as Staph aureus, or they are seeing it as Pseudomonas? If they are now seeing Staph aureus as Pseudomonas, then we will start asking why. We have to come and investigate. They have to investigate to see, is it our staff who is not really seeing it? A negative sample is not testing positive. What system is in place? What are we not doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? Then we base it on that. So that is the purpose of EQA. EQA come to test your system for you to strengthen your system. In case you don't get the 100%, you have to now check what is going on and then what is not going on. And we are saying that these people, when they get this information, they also feed it into the global system, and then it moves like a circle over there as well. We are also telling you that why do we need this local data for surveillance for medicine selection? We are saying for medicine selection because somebody may get up and tell us that Cipro doesn't work in Ghana. It's level for sustainability that is working. Though they are all in the same family, but they are level by level. Without any checking, and we assume that we are burdening our client. So when we have this system in place, we can now move in, check, is it really true that the Cipro is not working? If it is not true, then we say, because the Cipro is cheaper, let's go in to avert the poverty or the pockets of our client. And then we also want to say that this data also matters in treatment guideline. I think I've explained that one enough. And then the stewardship. We are using the targeted treatment. This is a medication that works for this, and we are just doing only that one. We are not doing try and error. let me try this one and see. It doesn't work. Then the patient is struggling, suffering, left hand, forward, center. And we say that in doing all these things, it saves time. It also helps us, like our system is active. And then it also gives us policy makers have a clear guidance as to what we want to do and what we don't want to do. So in doing all these things, without the lab being our eye, it's like we are treating in darkness. So the lab must be up and kicking and help us in this AMR fighting this pandemic that we are not seeing, but it's having a big toll on us. So, in conclusion, I would like you to take the few points home. If you don't have anything to take home at all, at the end of the day, you should be in position to tell me.
Surveillance only matters if it acts. 1. Surveillance is continuous and systematic, and only valuable when findings reach decision makers in time to act.
So we are telling you that take home this. If you don't take in anything at all, surveillance is not one day affair. It's something we have to be doing over and over. It's continuous. Every day there is a steward going, oh, what is happening? The lab, between the lab and then the patient is a DTC team monitoring what is happening. So if the DTC team is actually not monitoring, lab will bring a result, but it doesn't benefit our client. So the surveillance system has to be in place in order to achieve this. And we also tell that this class also give us a standard way to generate AMR. So we will need to input our data into the system so that we can get information how to control the AMR globally. And we are also telling you that the Ghana surveillance system is a pyramid. It's pyramid in center. It starts from the grassroots, playing facility, come to the middle level, some fewer facility, then to the top, 1 or 2 facility. So we have to feed the system accordingly like that. And we are also telling you that the local data we generate have to be shaped into selection of our medication. Our local antibiogram we have generated, our AST that we have done, the results that we have gotten, we have to use it in selection of the antibiotics we want to use. The result is telling you this antibiotic is susceptible, this one is intermediate, and this one is resistant. If you want to use the intermediate one instead of resistant one, you should have enough, instead of susceptible one, you should have enough reason for you to choose that. Assuming the susceptible one, the patient have a condition that you cannot use it. The intermediate one is what you will be using. Know what and what you need. The dose you will use in order to effectively cure your patient. So these are the few things we are trying to tell you. As a team, let's work hard to avert AMR in Tema General. By so doing, it escalates to the whole country and from there globally. Thank you very much. Any question? Any question?
Please, do we have any questions? Maybe not now, but let's be jotting our questions down. We'll take the very last lecture by Dr. Will Sparkle. That's a very last presentation for today. So please let's be jotting our contributions and observations. Right after that, we'll take them and we'll call it a day. Please let's give that to you.
Thank you very much. I think we've getting there. We are getting there. We will continue with the laboratory presentation with the lab networks, capacity and standards and quality. So at this juncture, now we have been doing a lot of quality work. So who can tell me what quality, if we are talking about quality? Please, who can tell me quality? What is quality? What is quality? Pardon me? Fitness for purpose. That is very good. Another one. Okay, so what she is trying to say is that, or what she is saying is that quality means fitness for purpose. So the reason why we want to use the thing should be fit for that purpose. Otherwise, we are wasting our time. So now we will look at the standards and quality issue. We always talk about standard operating procedures. We always talk about what are the standards. So we'll look at that as well. Okay, so here, the laboratory has a foundation of surveillance. I think Dr. Joseph Panini has said it all. Without the lab being able to tell us what organism is causing this, and then coming out with the antimicrobials that we need to use to treat the disease, then we are not there. We'll be doing trial and error. And you know, trial and error is very expensive because it will go a long way to do so many things, and even to the extent of creating anti-resistance strains of the organism, because we are using the wrong medication and the organism also is adjusting itself. So we need to get the right of the organism so that we to beat it down. We'll look at specimen collection, laboratory testing, surveillance data, and then policy and treatment. Specimen collection. There is a quality assurance or quality statement which says that your specimen is as good as the result. So that means if you get a wrong specimen to start with, then we are not there. The result is wrong. So always we are very sure, we have to be very sure that we get the right specimen so that we can get the right organism and then the right treatment to that. So our specimen is as good as the result. You know, we have several ways of taking several specimens for several purposes. So the diagnosis or the provisional diagnosis is very important to also guide us what specimen container to use, what if it's a blood culture, what to use and how to do it. And some of the samples are taken at peak when there's a fever peak or any other, so that we get the right specimen which goes with the right concentration of the organisms that we want. So specimen collection, looking at our quality systems, our quality management systems, is at the pre-analytic stage. So looking at quality management system and laboratory analysis, we have three main stages: the pre-analytic stage, the analytic stage, and the post-analytic stage. So the pre-analytic stage even starts from the consulting room. the doctor sees the patient. Oh, this patient, as of the records and all the history and all of that, he saw that he see that oh, this patient, we need to check for maybe blood sugars, glucose. Then the doctor starts there. The doctor says, oh, tomorrow, go to the laboratory. Don't make sure you don't eat. You eat maybe 8 p.m. to 6 to 8 p.m. in the morning. Make sure you don't eat and go to the laboratory early and take the sample and bring them. So you see that the preparation of the patient is starting from the doctors. All is pre-analytic. Then you get to the lab, they have to check your identity, make sure this is the right person, they are taking the sample. That's quality. Otherwise, you give the wrong results to the doctor. Another person should do that. The quality. Then the lab have maybe 2 identifiers or more to identify the name, the age, the sex, and other things, or gender, and it makes sure this is the right patient. Then the sample is taken. And that also have to go through the sample collection procedures, SOPs, standard operating procedure for sample collection. If you need venous blood, you need capillary blood, whatever you need, how to go about it. And you have to make sure all the standards are set and are available. And I think, let me tell you that the Maternal Hospital is one of 25 hospitals we have selected across the country and preparing them for accreditation. So let's start from the Maternal Hospital. You see, so when I came here in the morning, I went there first. And I know where the distance, so making sure some things are. You see, so we make sure that everything goes according to standard operating procedures. You collect the sample, you make sure the person has not, as the doctor told the person, don't eat this time and then we take it, and then it goes through the process. It will go through the analytical phase. Now, where we do the examination. That's also a very big, so the work being done in the lab is so busy. You have to make sure your machine is good, everything is fine, your controls are running, everything is fit for purpose before you even run the test. And then you get the right results. After everything, then you will go to the post-analytic phase where now you have to make your records. If it's not written, it's not done. It's one of the quality statements. If it's not written, it's not done. So whatever we do, and I like the nurses very well, they write everything, they write their books, they write everything. And those things also are able to, help us when there is medical legal cases. You go, you open your right hand, and that also is everything. So you go to the post-analytic, you have to record everything well and make sure that, even now we do review. So if somebody checks the lab test, maybe another person check, Madam Dr. Solo or Laurentia will also review what has been done, checking to make sure that the one who has done it is that the correct results going. Then the results goes. Now we are also using the systems. Now we have the lab information system, and the clinician can even request from the computer on the system. You go to the lab, the person goes, and then after everything, the results is pushed there appropriately. That is quality. So we come through that, the laboratory test, so many things. Then we come to the surveillance data. So as Dr. Banini said, everything that we are taking the glass, that's the global anti-malware systems surveillance system, that's the glass, and that one is global. So in Ghana we also enter our data into the glass. Net, then it goes to the glass. We have people who are responsible, and Dr. Jaffet, Pintan, and others there are responsible. It goes through, and always there's training. We are doing a lot of training too. And that, then the policy and treatment. Okay, so I think if now we are talking about health, building sustainable detection systems One Health laboratory integration. Last week I was in Kufuruwa. We were working on One Health. So now we bring in what? Human veterinary, that's animal. Now he's talking about food and the environment. So the environment, CSIR and other people all come inside. So now it's One Health. So now we are coming out with documents on One Health, so that if it's laboratory detection, what do we do when it comes to the human, what do we do when it comes to the animal, what do we do in the environmental sample detections and all the water, testing the water and all those things. So One Health is very important. And we are working with all of them to make sure that zoonotic infections and other things are curtailed. Okay, so those are the capacity domains for functional AMR laboratory. Human resource. Human resource is very capacity building. The human beings have to be trained well. So somebody comes from school, he still comes to the lab, he has to go through internship, he comes and as is always is learning workshops, CPD programs, continual professional development and all those things. Very, very crucial. And then we prepare, we build that capacity. Reagents and consumable supplies also have this thing. So you make sure if you are doing it annually, then by the beginning of the year or by the close of the year, October, November, December, you could have come out with your requisitions, your consumables, and we know how the pharmacies are very good in procurement things, how to check your consumption patterns, and then annual consumption, daily, monthly consumptions, getting your minimum and maximum stock levels, and all those important, so that you do that and make your requisition. The procurement team, they will invite you if you are not even a member of the procurement team. When it gets to your turn, they will invite you to come and testify what do you have. So record is very important. Your annual data is very important. Your monthly data, and it will help you to do that. Then we look at specimen processing. Specimen processing. So I think I've spoken a lot about it already. So now we are going to analyze this. You have to process the specimen appropriately. So if it's microbiology, if it's a urine sample, what do we do? If you need to do this, you have to do that. If you need to do that, and if it's a blood specimen, what do you do? And after even you have gotten the organism, you still have to continue to the phase of susceptibility testing. You have to get a correct level, correct viscosity of the organisms. You know, we also have to dilute it to get the correct viscosity using certain gauges to help you do that, so that you can do the right and get the right pattern for that. Then we come to microbial identification. So now having gotten it, you use the different things to identify the microbe. So if you think it's is it Staph aureus or Staph listing? What are the properties? You look at the chemical properties and all those things. And is it coagulate? You do the coagulase test and all those things and do various things, and then you say, oh, this is Staph aureus. Otherwise, if you don't get the right specimen, it will go the right organism. It will go against you. And then antimicrobial susceptibility testing. That's what I'm talking of. And so now we have a lot of developments in that in microbiology. Laurentia, I hope your microbiology here is very well. So when we close, we'll go there again to see if there are other challenges, so that we'll be able to build more capacity to that. So now we look at the quality assurance. I've spoken about it. Data recording and reporting, I've spoken about it. About safety. have not done that. So now we have the biosafety and biosecurity. Biosafety and biosecurity. So please, who can tell me the difference in what is biosecurity? Who can tell me? Laboratory, biosafety.
What you do to protect yourself from infection at a current state of when performing your duties. But biosecurity, I think, has to do with what you do ahead of time to prevent exposures to whether infections or.
Oh, she's done very well. Let's give her. You see, so you have to protect yourself and you have to protect the environment and protect others. So biosafety, protecting yourself using certain PPEs so that you protect yourself with the right PPEs. So you have your lab coats, the gloves, and all that you use more. And biosafety, when you even get organisms, and you have to still use them for certain things, how to store them, how to keep them well, so that nobody can go and get it. And when we were even going to say that polio has been eradicated, we did a lot of work. We have to go to even where some of the specimens have been kept and to see certain things, go to Nguchi, go to other, making sure. So biosecurity is terrorism. You can use anthrax, you can use other things, so people lay hands on those organisms, they can cause havoc with it. That's biosecurity. So biosecurity, very important. Digital innovation, information technology. As I'm talking to you now, we are going to do laboratory information. Now we say integrated national laboratory information system. And I hope by the close of the year, into next year, we would have come back with apart from whatever this thing we are using, we can get that for laboratory which will feed interface with the KIMS or DIMS or whatever we are using. So that is very important. So that anytime we want the data, anytime the minister wants the data, he goes there. And now it's not only Ghana service, but we are bringing in all the people. So most of the interventions I'm doing at my level are the teaching hospitals. The 25 I mentioned, that Temateba Hospital, we have all the 6 teaching hospitals, that's part of it. We have the 16 regional hospitals, that's part of it. Before we have some few 3 levels, district level facilities, St. Elizabeth Hospital, Shudim, we have other Tetepashi Memorial Hospital and some few, the 25. So that's a good achievement, and we'll follow up and make sure that in the near future, by the next 3 years of this the National Hospital will get accreditation. This is not a free accreditation. This is accreditation which is going to help. America can send, embassy can send cases here that you should do tests for them and other things. So they are on course. Data set for AMR reporting. So I think that all goes inside. So we can go ahead. So this is the surveillance architecture. How it goes. As you all know, this is more of, we call it governance or network. Now we are talking about network of branches from the lower levels. But starting from the highest level, we have the National Public Health Reference Lab and the other bigger Nguchi Memorial, Nguchi Memorial what? Yes, of medical research. Other big facility at the national level. Then we come to the regional level. So the regional level covers all our system, whether designated or whatever be the case, the region, we have to make sure we have all the 16 regions having their regional hospitals at that level. And this helps in the sample referral or referring patients, referral system from that level. But then we have the district level facilities, laboratories, and then we have the other levels. And we are now making sure that at least at the district level, all our labs should be doing antimicrobial testing and susceptibility testing. Because most of our district labs are lacking, they are not doing. But now we are making sure that we get them doing. And then the data flow to glass, as I've told you, so that it will also enter into the glass. So what are the priority pathogens and infection types? I think Dr. Abanini has spoken a lot about those things, so I will not want to waste our time. We have the carbapenem resistant acinetobacter, Baumani, and then the Enterobacteriaceae, E. coli, Klebsiella, pneumonia, and all the way we have the multiple resistant staph aureus and all those things there. So I'm not talking much about the common infection, the bloodstream infection, the parasite infection, and the community acquired pneumonia and other things. Even not talking about the nosocomial or hospital acquired infections and all those things. Very, very important. So now monitoring and evaluation also. Dr. Panini has spoken about it when talking about the surveillance, because surveillance goes with that. But then we have to get smart indicators. So now we are trying to feed in some indicators into the system, and we'll be monitoring, and we'll be assessing, and we'll be grading our labs, and looking at some of those indicators. So we have to get smart indicators, specific and all time bound and everything. Then regular review cycles, very important. Tracking AMR, all very important, and corrective activities also very important. Then you can see the performance as against our national targets. So for now, sample facility MAE at the snapshot. We look at the AST10 around time, 3 days, which is supposed to be, the target is 90%, but now we have about 78%. Then looking at the external quality assessment, EQA, it's one of our problems because it involves a lot of money. If you are doing EQA, you need to buy your control EQAs, these things. It's very expensive, and we are trying to make sure the labs we have selected for accreditation, we help them with the global fund to pay for some of these things. So now we have 2 labs who are ready, the whole teaching hospital and the Upper East Regional Hospital. They are already going through the process, and we have told them to write to DG so that if they need any other support, we can get the support from them. Blood culture contamination. So you can see that this one we have done very well. EQA participation quarterly, 100%. Then blood culture contamination. Then so I think we have to make conscious efforts to get to the standards and to get the conclusion to what I'll be able to say. Updated treatment guidelines with local surveillance data. Okay, so we have the treatment guidelines, standard treatment guidelines. We have others. Now we are trying to come out with the essential laboratory list, so that at every level the list, although not test menu aside, but essential, which ones are essential, like we have the essential or standard listing. So we have the generating local data. Dr. Maneni has spoken about it. Analyze resistant trends. She has spoken about it, so that we get the trends. And then review standard treatment guidelines. And so maybe every 5 years or every they have the standards of reviewing. Then disseminate and train. Where we have the problem is the dissemination. Dissemination, big problem. So most of the time we waste a lot of time and we do the documents. We come out with documents. Last week I was telling them that we don't disseminate this, we distribute. So you do the document, then quickly you print plenty and you distribute. But we don't do proper dissemination where we have to invite all the stakeholders, show them, take them through the documents, how to use the documents and all that. But now you go to the field and most of them, they don't even know where the documents are. The standard treatment guidelines, all the standard documents, and sometimes you say, bring a copy and let me see. And it becomes war. But those labs we are preparing for is one of the things. Make sure that all the people read and sign. And then, so when you go, we check all those things, and then you have the various things. So it's very, very important. Then reassure or what? Then measure impact. So the impact you do, then you measure whether the interventions are yielding, or the district you are doing is yielding the right interventions. Then you look at the impact, measure, and make sure that everything is going on well. So strong integrated lab, sound stewardship. Strong integrated lab, sound stewardship. So as I've told you, we have the various lab, we have to integrate. The laboratory is the evidence-based and resistance crossing sectors. So detection must integrate human, animal, food, and then environment. One health. Then 10 capacity domains, from workforce to digital tools to AMR data sets, and then must be built together. All those 10 capacity domains must be built together. A gap in any one weakens the whole chain. So this thing is as weak as the weak point of the district. So governance tiered architecture, that district leader, what I've spoken about, must feed glass consistently and accurately. So local antivirals, Dr. Manini talked about it, should directly inform the drug and therapeutic committee decisions and standard treatment guidelines updates, and then close the loop from bench to prescribing, from bench to, so we have to do all appropriately. So those are the takeaways. So on this note, I want to thank us all for our rapt attention, listening, and if you have any questions, the floor is open. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mills. Please, we have questions. We are closing. Do we have questions? Contributions? Before I continue, we sent a link to you. If you haven't completed, it's a registration form. It's very important. If you haven't completed it, please do so. Take a few seconds and do so before you leave this place. Do we have any contribution? This is really workshop that I've seen in all my years. But there hasn't been any single personal contribution. Do we have any? Dr. Ali.
Thank you very much. I must say, it's been very educative. I'm sure that DTC AMS team, we've been very effective, but there are some loopholes that we've taken note of, and and I'm sure our team have put some comments on the page. We'll pick it up and then make sure that we fill in those gaps. Throughout the presentation, at a point in time, it's been an antibiogram informing treatment. That was one of our first goals, to be able to get get our microbiology lab automated, so that we can be able to come up with our anti-biogram. So please, Director, if we can speed up the process so that we can start preparing for our antibiogram. It's very important because it will not feed only the hospital, but the communities around us, as a way of fighting antimicrobial resistance. Thank you.
Thank you very much for telling me. Please, do we have any other? Going 3. Going 2. Going 1. Gone. Thank you very much, Dr. Mr. Yes, so on that note, we'll bring our training today to a close. We'll continue tomorrow, but not before we've taken our closing remarks from our medical director. So, Director, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. I think it's been a very insightful meeting in terms of the topics that were chosen and the elaboration and how integrated the various facets of the practice are, be it the lab, be it the DTC, be it medicines, and everything that goes with it. So we're very grateful. We look forward to a more interactive and mind-boggling presentation tomorrow, so that we'll be able to put all the pieces together and begin to chart our way forward when it comes to not only the issues that have to do with DTC, but the other things that lead to patient safety and care within our space. So we're very grateful. And for those of you who are not with us, we wish you a safe journey as you go by the motorway to your various destinations. And God bless you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Director, for having us, and thank you for being present. Yeah, you stepped out briefly, but mainly being present with us. We appreciate that. My director said, we hope that tomorrow's one will be more interactive, because tomorrow is more practical. So please, let's be on time. Today, we were not so much on time. Let's be on time so we can close on time to go to our other duties. Thank you for coming. The only thing that will delay us is our lunch. It's on the way, she's coordinating. But Director, please, you can go. We'll bring your lunch to you.
I think we can take a picture. So
Yes. Please, let's have a group photograph.
Okay, but before then, another link has been sent to us, which goes straight to HR. There are 2 links. Please, let's fill it. And then we'll also take the closing prayer. Then we'll take the pictures. So please, Nabi, you can pray for us. You just walked in now, but you can pray for us. So shall we?
Let us pray. Almighty Allah, we thank you for taking us through this meeting. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب